bought another Ford. Probably the stupidest thing I've done all year. We're just getting started.
That's bad.
Yep, we got ourselves an F KED Super Duty. And I know what you're thinking, Josh, why on earth would you go out and buy a 6.0 truck?
6.0s are probably one of the worst diesel engines ever made. Only 4-bolt heads, terrible oil coolers, EGR, all that stuff. They'll blow a head gasket just idling. But don't worry, rest assured, I found something even worse than the 6.0.
That's right, we got ourselves a Triton V10. This thing's making all the power.
You see, this thing's a... That was wet. This thing's a race truck.
Don't let its good looks fool you. This thing's a high RPM screamer. 2-wheel drive, 4 wheels in the back, basically a big tire truck, all the traction. This thing will do 0 to 60 in, at least less than a week.
But seriously, this truck came up for sale. It was pretty cheap. I needed something to pull trailers again. I don't think I'm going to keep this, basically just because I had the suspicion that an extended cab wouldn't have enough room to comfortably fit the car seats, and after I got home, that was confirmed. Don't know why I didn't take a car seat with me to test fit, but I didn't, and here we are. So I'm probably going to be selling this thing here shortly. I may already have it listed. I don't know.
But it was pretty cheap, and it was completely rust-free, and those are two things that I absolutely cannot resist. So I went and picked it up out of Detroit. It's originally a Kentucky truck, which is why it's rust-free. Lived most of its life in Kentucky, spent a few months in Pennsylvania, and then the guy I got it from brought it up from Pennsylvania. So if we come and look at these cab hair corners, look at that. Not a lick of rust. You see that? Now, I will say, this is the good side. It spent the last 4 years as a painter's truck. So the bed's got paint all over it. The tailgate has some paint. You can see some stuff here on the flare. When I did pick it up, that back window was smashed out, so we worked that up. Snake eater injected, hell yeah, brother. And the interior.
There is no words I could use to describe how disgusting the interior of this truck was. This was the first time I ever took a vehicle to a detailer's because I just refused to do it. It looked like someone poured Coke just all over the place and just let it sit and threw coins in it. I don't understand how a truck can physically get this dirty, but it's not that dirty anymore, so that's nice.
Now it just looks like a normal 23-year-old truck. But yeah, you can see there's and I got the seat pretty, I would rather have the seat a couple inches back, so there's just not a ton of room, which is why I would like to find a crew cab. But like I said, this thing was cheap, and it does have pretty high miles though. 306,000. Oh my God. The transmission, I have had this thing on the hoist. The transmission looks almost brand new, which kind of matches the story of it being replaced last year. I need to pop that hood. What am I doing? Ooh, that was nice and easy. I'm so used to the S10 and Sean's Malibu, having to really reef on that thing. That thing was butter. Am I trying to sell this to you yet? I don't know. You guys want to buy it yet? Yeah. I got to sand that down and repaint it. Because there and here, they put some mud on it. I don't know why. And then just never did anything with it. Fucking guys. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's someone who just hacks vehicles together. I would never be able to do that. But yeah, there she is. The beauty. The Triton V10. The engine of your dreams. Oh, baby. Now, I don't like Triton motors. I'm just going to be straight up with you. I don't like them. I think they're very good motors when they're running good, but
with Triton motors, there's some things you got to look out for. The exhaust manifold bolts are there in theory usually, and Triton motors and spark plugs go together like George Bush in the Middle East. They just... So, lucky us, our exhaust system is mucho goodo. The spark plugs, however, are probably the original ones that came from Ford, rolled off the assembly line with these guys and just never been touched. So there's slight misfire. It runs and drives fine, just little bit of that. That's what we got here. We got some fresh auto lights, oil cap, because you know you need to replace the oil cap when you do spark plugs on this thing. No, for some reason the oil cap on this is missing, so he used one of his favorite going to church socks. I'll just throw the oil cap in it and it'll probably fix all my issues. That's what I'm gonna title this video. Oil cap saves Ford V10. Boom. There we go. This thing was like 90 cents on Rock Auto. Probably why it doesn't fit. What are you... Hello? Please? Please? Come on. Hello? What the fuck? Alright. The engine's doomed. Anyway, yeah. We get to be the lucky people to replace the spark plugs. And while we're in there, we're going to do the coil packs. Because those tend to go out on these at the same time. Or just, they're a common, they're a common issue with them. So we're going to do some work on that. Let's do work. And, yeah. Had to free this up. This thing was stuck way out here because the mechanism inside was all screwed up. Look. That's just something we're not used to up here. This is the biggest bummer on the whole truck, I'd say. Aside from maybe the engine. And then it's two-wheel drive. But yeah, this, dang. It's got the fifth wheel rails that you can't see under the snow there. And it came with this massive hitch. It came with this massive like load leveling hitch. This dude just freaking left all his tools in the back of it. So that was a nice score. Plugs are easy to get to on this. They're on top, like right under these bad boys there. Unlike on a traditional V8 where they're in the side, underneath or kind of by the headers. So they're easy to get to, but the, man. So the early Tritons had like only like 3 threads holding the spark plugs in. So they would tend or could or sometimes liked to pop those spark plugs out under combustion. So you'd be driving along, then all of a sudden you'd be like, "Pow! Blah, 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 blah." And it's just because it blew a spark plug into the hood and said, "Get that thing out of here." Now, as bad as that sounds, the later ones where they thickened up the casting so that there was more threads holding the plug, it no longer popped them, but when you'd go to replace the plugs, they'd get stuck in there and you'd end up snapping them off, have to drill and tap and do all sorts of that stuff. So it's kind of a situation where would you rather crap your pants or piss your pants? Because you're doing one or the other with the Triton motor. You're pissing or shitting. You're doing one of them. And I would say we're pissing here. I think we're pissing. So I'm going to turn the heater on, let it warm up for a little bit, and I'll probably pull the intake off, or the intake off, and blow out around the spark plugs, get all the dirt and everything out of there, because like I said, it goes right down into the chamber there. And then I'll probably spray some PB Blaster, let it sit for a little bit, just to avoid anything. But these ones should, fingers crossed, fingers, toes, and eyes crossed, should come out pretty well. And then we'll have ourselves a good run, a little hot rod. I say little, but my God, this thing's a big one. This thing's probably 15 pounds at least. So yeah, I'm gonna warm up. My hands are getting cold. And then we'll start doing work. Let's do work. 2023 is the year of do work, so we're gonna do some work. Oh yeah. Come on now. Come on now. Think about it. Think about it. There we go. There we go. Oh yeah. All right, we'll just set you out of the way. Whew. Big boy throttle body. And that weird cover. Alright, so I can see all 5 on this side pretty easily. We got some hoses over here that we need to get out the way. Move, bitch, get out the way. Oh, Lord, that was hot. I did just drive this thing over to my dad's and back because I used him as an Uber to go look at another truck. Went and looked at that one doesn't have the clip on it. Huh. I went and looked at a 2005 Duramax. I know, everybody's gonna say, get the LBZ. Motherfucker, LBZs are expensive. Expensive. I'm not trying to spend $15,000. So, looked at an LLY truck. Pictures looked great. Pictures looked awesome. Interior looked good, minus the driver's seat, but driver's seats on trucks are always fucked up because us fat, lazy Americans just slide in and out. So I was like, yeah, price was right. I mean, it was more than I wanted to spend. It was $8,000. But it looked clean, had a DVD player in the back for the kids so I could tell them to shut up, leave me alone so I could focus on the road and not kill us. Got there, looked at it. Looked pretty decent from like 20, 30 feet away. And I sent him a message. I was like, it's not like, I don't want to drive an hour to go look at it and then find out it's some rusty piece of crap. Like, I'm fine with other stuff. I just don't want it to be rotted out. Like, if I'm going to spend this kind of money, I don't want something that's going to last me a year and then start falling apart. And he's like, yeah, this thing's clean. I'm like, sweet. Drive up there, go to check it out. First thing I see, rusted on the cab corners. Like, it's still white, but underneath it, you can see the rust bubbling through. I walk up, touch the cab corner or the rocker to check it. Big chunk falls off. And the bed sides look like, he said as the previous owner. Who knows? I think he was trying to flip the truck. But it was all spray painted white, like over the rusty spots and everything like that, and you could see underneath the flares. It was just bad. So I was like, man, I'm gonna pass. Like, I don't want this thing. You can keep it. It's all you, dog. Like, mechanical stuff, I'm okay with fixing. Like, that's part of vehicle ownership. But I just don't want to buy rusty vehicles anymore. That gets old. I sure hope I remember where all these hoses go. I can feel you. I can feel it coming in the coil pack tonight. There we go. Ah! My milk crate was taking off on me. Didn't like the singing, I guess. All right. Now we can pull the coil packs off and blow out all the stuff around them. What size do those look like? Those look like 8s, maybe? Yes? No? Ada Mundo? Come on now. Come on, what size are they? You guys are no help. 7s, perhaps? Probably should have looked this up, huh? Maybe 7s? Maybe? Oh, yeah. Like I said, probably should have looked that up. All right. Why am I not using the gun? The world may never know. I think you're loose. Pow. Coil pack. I think we need to reuse these bolts. Ford, so the nice thing about Fords is they put this little tray here because they know you're gonna have to work on it. Now these are the ones where it starts to get tricky. About to bolt with it. God dab nabbit. There we go. Okay. Can you come up? There we go. That's pretty warm. Pretty warm too. Zinger. I'm gonna get a different setup for that. I was doing these on a Dodge once and that little bolt snapped off. Worst day of my life. Worst day of my life. Are you not out all the way? Friggin' heck. There we go. Let's move over to this side real quick. Let's just get the easy ones knocked out. That Duramax. I don't know. If it was like $4,000, I might have got it. But man, I just freaking hate, and I'm sure you guys have noticed this, I just freaking hate spending money. Like I wanted to vomit thinking about how much I spent on the 55. But I think that's kind of different. I think most of you guys would agree. 55, that's America's car. That's not my car, that's America's car. Oh. Well, how you doing? Okay. Let's just get you out of there. You're gonna come out nice and easy. I'm gonna need some needle nose. Come on. Come on, baby. There we go. Just need some encouragement. So yeah, the 55, I wanted to vomit. I still kind of want to vomit thinking about how much I spent on it, considering it just freaking sits there. But like I said, that's not my car. That's America's car. I'm waiting for America to pay their half of it, but I paid $6,000 for the 55, which, I mean, all things considered, I've looked around since then for other ones. They're just not available as a two-door. Like, you can find four doors. I found a four-door a couple hours away from me for, I think, steaming. Wow. I found a four-door a couple hours away from me for $5,000. I'd rather have a two-door. And this one's really not as bad as I make it seem. Like, I don't think it needs floors, and I've thought about not putting them in it. But I would prefer to have, like, new floors in it. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Kind of play that deal by ear. I think I'm gonna turn the camera off and just yell a bunch of obscenities and get those back four coil packs out, and then we'll try to tackle the plugs.
All right, got all the coil packs off, got all 4 on the driver's side, all 6 on the passenger side. What are we doing here? 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 and 5. 5 plus 5 is 10. All right, and you can see 2 of them pulled the boots off, and they just got this little springy guy inside. Fun. Now it's a children's toy. All right, so now I'm going to take the air hose and just blow some of the dirt and stuff around the plug so it doesn't fall into the cylinder when I pull the plugs out. And then we'll give it a quick little spritz of PB Blaster, let it kind of soak, absorb, and get penetrated by the oil. Hopefully they come out a little bit easier. Don't put up any sorts of fights. And then we can throw this thing back together. Oh, I did get the oil cap back on, by the way. Or I guess on for the first time. So, we're making progress. Dare me to lick it? I would never do that. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I would never lick my hand. It's grease and stuff. All right, now the trick for this okay. Shoot. Think I can make it in that trash can? Kobe. I don't think WD-40 is nearly as good at breaking rusty things loose as PB Blaster. But when in Rome, that's not the right phrase. Ooh, got that last one. Frick. Where's this back one? Where'd you go? Can I? Trying to rein it in there. I think I got it. All right, now we're gonna let that sit for a little bit, kind of do its magic, really eat into that rust. Hopefully there isn't any rust. And then we'll come back out in a little bit and crack them loose, pop the new ones in, and then bam, brand new truck. We'll let that sit for a little while, and then I can guarantee that all of these spark plugs are gonna come out, no problem. All 8 of them. Oh, fuck. There we go. All right. So these have been sitting for at least 5 minutes. Ooh. There we go. All right, so let's look at what kind of plugs this thing's got. Yeah, it's pretty grungy. Looks like it's been in there a long time. But we're working with some Autolite XP 103s. Extreme Performance. See, I told you guys that this thing was a race truck. You guys didn't believe me. How long have you guys known me? You think I'd lie about something like this? This thing is a race truck. And it just so happens that we're putting some Autolite 103s back in it. Now, these ones aren't the Extreme Performance because this truck was a little too hopped up before. We need to drive this thing on the street, so we got to hop it down a little bit. So this is like the normal street performance Autolite 103. We don't need no extreme performance. This thing doesn't need to be smoking the tire. I mean, you could see just me trying to pull it in here. This thing was wanting to do a burnout. This thing's a race truck, and we're trying to put it on the street. So, I mean, I already had to pull the 25.3 cage out of it. I didn't show you guys that because I didn't think it'd be a good video. But yeah, this thing had a full 25.3 cage in it. This thing's a race truck, man. I'm telling you. You guys don't believe me, but Ford knew what they were doing. They put an racing engine in this thing. I'm telling you. That's why it needed a new transmission last year. Because this thing just making too much torque. Too much torque in it. It twists coming off the line. I'm scared to drive it. My dad and I built this thing way back. And then I just lost all control and started hitting people with wrenches or something, I guess. I'm probably just going to try to knock out the plugs. If anything exciting happens, I'll report back to you guys. But I think you've seen plenty of videos or done plenty of spark plug changes yourself. You could see, maybe you can see, it looks like only those much threads is what I said, and I'm going to stick to it, is what was in the motor. Yep. I'm going to get the other 90 plugs pulled out of this thing, get the new ones in here, and this thing's going to run great. All right. Got this thing all back together. Let's see, what time is it? It is 3 o'clock. So it only took 4 days to get all the spark plugs in there. Honestly, they were all easy except that very back one. And the hardest part was getting like the plug out. Getting the new plug in, coil pack and everything in wasn't too bad. I hope that I have everything hooked back up. I believe I got everything hooked back up. So now we can try to start it. And I don't know if I showed you guys or not. No. Here's the last 4 that I took out for this side. They all look nah. But there was... Oh yeah, here they are. I saved them. Look at that. Can you guys look at that? There we go. That looks like the correct plug gap for a 1999 Ford F350 V10. That's right. That is like annealed on there. That is baked on. Holy crap. Good Lord. Yeah. So hopefully this thing runs just a smidge better. Honestly, as well as it ran before, I'm shocked that, because there's two plugs that look like that. Like there's two of them that are just no plug gap whatsoever. So they're basically probably just acting like glow plugs for the most part. So, assuming I have everything hooked back up, this thing should sound significantly better. So I'm gonna get all the tools off the front of it, and then we'll take it down the road. You gonna make it, buddy? You can see his tire tracks, he was struggling. Come on, buddy, you can do it. You can do it. I think I'm gonna go left. Ooh, we sliding too. Ooh, ooh, ooh. There we go. There we go. There we go. V10 power. Oh yeah. Left was the way to go. It is a surprisingly comfortable truck. So we'll turn around here, get into it a little bit more. She's got some pep to her. Shift. Alright, I'm lifting. I mean, it got up to 70 at a pretty fair pace. It definitely feels like it's running better. It's hard to expect too much out of a truck that weighs probably like, I don't know, 7,000 pounds. But yeah, I think it's running a lot better. It doesn't feel like it's lugging anymore. I do think that one of the tires is slightly out of balance, but that's not too bad. So yeah, all in all, I think we're good. Clear the codes and not worry about it anymore. It's really not a bad truck. It certainly photographs really well. It's quiet, cruises good, and pulls trailers. So like I said, I'll probably put it up for sale and try and find me a crew cab. But for now, that's our tow pig. So that's going to do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, clicking the bell to get the notifications when the videos go up. I'll see you guys next time.